Hello and welcome everybody back to my writing tips mini series. This segment is about finding work as a freelance writer. Now, your main goal may be to produce a novel, to produce a screenplay, a book of poetry, an anthology, a collection, whatever your goals are as a writer. A lot of us find that we're also looking for ways to build our repertoire, to build our kind of writing resume, build our portfolio, also to practice our writing, and to make a little bit of money on the side. So, ways that you can find work as a writer. The primary thing that I can say, the most important step about it is to be vigilant when it comes to looking for work. So you want to be spending a significant amount of your time writing. Most of your time that you spend as a writer should be writing, but you also need to dedicate a certain amount of time, I would say almost every day, to looking for work and looking for other opportunities. And I'm going to discuss some of the ways that you can find those opportunities. So there are websites out there for freelancers. There are some that I do recommend. Freelance is one, and I will provide the link for that, as well as Upwork. And these websites function in a way that you go on and register as a freelancer, and you put your skills, what you have experience in, and then you look for people who are offering contracts or jobs for people who have that same skill set that you do and that you're interested in. And that allows you to connect with people who are looking for experienced writers. For instance, I recently picked up a contract through one of these jobs doing investigative articles or investigative reviews. So kind of like a secret shopper. I'm going into these venues and then writing a review covering certain topics back to this person. Now, one of the key components in looking for work through sites like Upwork and Freelance is that you're going to want to have a writing resume or portfolio that explains all of the different things you have, the different experiences you have as a writer, as well as writing samples readily available to provide. For instance, they asked me to provide a couple of writing samples for this. I was published in a publication here in Huntsville called The Valley Planet. That was not only a paper print, but they also have an online website where the article is published. So I'm always able to provide that URL link to that article when people ask me for writing samples. And then if they want another writing sample, I can send them something from my personal collection that I have on my computer, one of my manuscripts. I can send them a page from something. So it's important to have that variety, to know especially whether the person looking to hire someone or to pay someone is looking for technical writing or creative writing. Those are the two big distinctions. So they want to know that, for instance, with this previous position, they wanted to know that I had nonfiction experience. So I was able to send them a newspaper article, which was perfect because that's kind of what they're looking for, that type of journalistic review. The other important thing to remember, in addition to being vigilant, is to protect your own creative work. Remember that whatever you do, whatever you write is your property. It's your intellectual property. Until someone gives you money for it and you transfer that property to them, then it no longer becomes your intellectual property. So you need to be careful with what you do. Now, you may save a copy of your manuscript or your draft to use as a writing sample in the future. But keep in mind, you can't reproduce that work again ever for anyone else for any other reason because it technically no longer belongs to you. It belongs to the person who paid you for it. I do want to also add, if you get business cards, for instance, I recommend using Vistaprint. Send me a check. But I recommend using Vistaprint. It's a great way to get a decent amount of business cards for a really affordable price. And you can use those to start handing those out to people that you know and introducing yourself. Because word of mouth, you never know what you might find. The other thing is Craigslist. It's actually not impossible. I've found several jobs already, commission work through Craigslist. The only thing, again, is to take it with a little bit of caution. So when you find either under jobs or under gigs, or you post an ad for yourself saying that you're offering writing and proofreading services, when you get someone who is interested in you or says that they have something to offer, always be cautious. Remember that there are people out there who are trying to scam people, who are trying to take advantage of people. So make sure you ask questions. You find out exactly what it is that they're looking for. Another thing that's important as a freelancer and doing commission work, it's very important to find out exactly what they're going to pay you for, what their expectations are, and what their deadline is. Often what will happen is you will run into a conflict where the person who is looking to have the work done either feels that you're taking too much time, or they're not expecting you to be able to produce something very quickly. So they may have a different time frame in mind. So it's always important to know when you're doing work for someone else that they're going to pay you for, what is the time frame that they have in mind? How soon would they like to have something back, and how ready are they to pay for that? So that way you're both on a very clear timeline to work together with them. And again, remember to ask exactly what it is they're looking for. With writing, you're always almost going to be asking for word count. Do they want a 300-page just a 300-word blurb, a 500-word article, or are they looking for something a little bit lengthier? If you're doing, if somebody asks you to ghostwrite something, a typical rate is about $1 for 100 words. And of course, that's going to go up if you have more experience, or if you've worked with the person previously, you may expect to get a little bit more for that. But just as starting out as a baseline, that's not that's not unreasonable for them to ask for that price, just to give you somewhere to start. But again, always make sure you're asking for the price, the word count, how much they're looking for, and what their timeline, their deadline is. All right, I hope this information is helpful to you guys out there when you're looking for work as a writer. Remember to keep a writing tracker. Keep track of how much you're writing every day, so you can see your progress and track your progress. Always be vigilant when it comes to looking for new opportunities, and market yourself, promote yourself, because if you won't promote yourself, no one else will. Thanks, guys. Have a great weekend.